Hey Geo Nerds, here's T-Rox on his soapbox again, preaching to the multitudes, and yeah, I'm going to have my 2 bobs worth. And this has come from watching the news, which I shouldn't do, because we got a couple of kids in hospital in Queensland at the moment with diphtheria. This is the first case of diphtheria we'd have in Queensland for over 100 years. And I've been doing some videos recently in these cemeteries around Brisbane, just looking at the history of them, and you come across a lot of, very young people buried in these cemeteries. And it's remarkable when you walk through the cemetery from the 1800s and 1900s, you go to the modern era, there are very few children. The older ones, it's full of children. So I'm just going to have my 2 bobs worth because we managed to wipe out pretty much diphtheria, tuberculosis, meningitis, diarrhea, scarlet fever. My mother-in-law had scarlet fever when she was young, permanently damaged her heart, pneumonia to a great degree, poliomyelitis, I remember that one from when I was young, was around, malaria, Bill's working on that, and influenza to a degree. Yeah, it's still around, don't get me wrong, but it's not killing as many kids as it used to. We don't need to talk about the big disease that's out there that the big boogeyman's everyone talking about, because these things were cured with simple things like hygiene. Parts of Brisbane were just disgraceful. Here's an image of Paddington in the early 1900s. This was the backyards these kids were playing in, full of feces and water, cholera, all these horrible waterborne diseases, just bad water. And of course, the poor little buggers didn't stand a chance. Their immune systems were compromised from the day they were born, and they died young, and lots of them died. We'll look at this chart in a minute, and we're talking 27% down to less than 2%. It's a fairly significant improvement. Some of that is due to vaccines. Some of it, a lot of it, is due to antibiotics, and quite a lot of it is just due to washing your damn hands before you eat, after you go to the toilet. Things like that, and not drinking your water that someone else has crapped in. So I think that these diphtheria cases just shocked me. They really did. Now, they came in from overseas, and yes, I understand that, but they could have spread it around. They could have easily spread it around because a lot of people aren't. Diphtheria is a bacteria. You can't be immunised against it. You've got to actually have is that diphtheria? It might be scarlet fever. I could be wrong there. T-Rox is not a doctor, all right? He doesn't pretend to be one. Don't take medical advice from an idiot that calls himself a geo nerd. Anyway, I'm going to put some stuff up in a minute, and I'll warn you, it might not be for everybody. It is gravestones in one cemetery that I shot that contain children. If you don't like it, turn it off now. It was upsetting enough for me, let me tell you. So anyway, let's get off the soapbox and we'll get back onto the geo. This is history anyway, but these kids are precious. All these kids could have grown up to be another Albert Einstein, or we could have had antibiotics 5 years earlier. Who knows? Such a loss of potential. Anyway, I'll let you go. I'm not going to do anything silly. I'm not going to speak over this because I've got nothing to say. Catch you next time. Well, folks, here we are at the Lutwyche Cemetery at Kedron. Cemetery located at Kedron, named after Alfred Lutwyche, Brisbane's first judge, and an all-round good egg. We're going to have a look at some gravestones today, see if we can pick up a theme. Let's have a go at it.